Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is a very exciting one that I do pretty much every year. I want to say I did one last year in 2020 as well, like towards the end of the year, almost a year ago. And like you can tell from the title, this is going to be my skincare holy grails for the year. I know a lot of people prefer doing like a yearly roundup video where they kind of share like the best beauty products of the whole year. I kind of prefer to do like a holy grails list like this instead of doing like the same video basically in a yearly favorites format, because I think it's going to be more fun to like look back every year and see which products from my holy grails list have continued to remain a holy grail for years, and then which other ones have kind of like gotten dethroned and stuff like that. And I would love to do like update videos, and even though I actually haven't looked back on my last year's video, I feel like I should do that like after I film. Like when I'm actually filming this video, I haven't looked back on my last year's video, but yeah, if I have any of these products in my last year's holy grails list as well, then I'll maybe leave like a star sign when I'm editing throughout the video, and that will tell you that this is like a consistent holy grail favorite. But yeah, let me know if you would like me to do like me updating this exact same list next year and sharing with you which holy grails have changed and which haven't. I think it will be a great idea to do this on a yearly basis where I'll look back on my last year's video, but then I will also share the updated list as well. So let me know if you'll be interested in that. But I don't want to make the intro super long, and I'm not going to be talking about every single product in detail as well. I will just give you some key point headers, because trust me you guys, I mean, you can probably tell already, but when I'm actually filming this, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I can tell you that I have like over 20 products, 21 to be precise, to talk about in this video. So I want to make sure that this video is not like an hour long or anything like that. So let's dive right into it, and I will go kind of in order of application. So like we'll talk about cleansers first, and then treatments, and then moisturizers towards the end, and then sunscreen. So we'll go in that order, so that way it'll also make a little bit more sense. So yeah, let's dive right into it, starting with my holy grail makeup removal products, cleansers, and like that whole category as a whole. I have 1 2 3 4, and then I think there is one product that I don't have to show you right here with me, because I did finish that up and I haven't repurchased. But let's get started. So for my cleansers, like makeup removal cleansing kind of products, I have two favorites right here. I have the Plum Illuminance Cleansing Balm, which I have mentioned a lot of times, and then I also have the Kiko Milano Pure Clean Micellar Gel Wash, which again, I've mentioned both of these products countless times on my channel. In fact, every single product that is in this video, for the most part, I have spoken about many times. So it's not like you're going to see something new for the first time or something like that. But yeah, let me quickly tell you what each of these products do. So the Kiko Milano Pure Clean Micellar Gel Wash is basically an all-in-one makeup remover. This will remove all of your makeup for the most part. If you wear heavy foundation or concealer, I cannot guarantee if this will remove that or not, because, or rather how well it will remove that, because I don't wear foundation or concealer, so I can't speak to that. But if you wear powder foundation, loose powder as your base, any of that stuff, along with eyeliner, liquid lipstick, all of that, this does a pretty good job at removing everything. And the best part about it is that when you rinse it off, it basically also works as a face wash. So it's removing your makeup, but then it's also emulsifying like a face wash, leaves no oily residue behind, and that's why I absolutely freaking love this. And that's why it's in the holy grail list. Whereas the Plum Illuminance Cleansing Balm is my favorite cleansing balm among all the cleansing balms that I've used, because it removes your makeup. You get a good quantity, good price. Like one tub is also going to last you a long time, so it's not like you're going to go through these super duper quickly. Obviously, if you wear makeup every day, one tub might last, I want to say 1.5 to 2 months, depending on how frequently you wear your makeup. Like in a week, like 4 to 5 to 6 days in a week, if you're using this, it'll last you, I want to say, somewhere between 1.5 to 2 months. So that is good, at least for me personally. And you can get Plum at great offers. I always combine my points and stuff like that, and that's why I feel like this is a great deal for me. And it's one that doesn't irritate my eye, removes all of my makeup, all of the stuff that you would want your cleansing balm to do. So that's why this one is my favorite. I also mentioned this in my most repurchased products video. So yeah, that tells you that this is truly a holy grail. Moving on next to face washes, I have three, out of which I just have two to show you. So the first one I'm going to talk about because it kind of goes hand in hand with my Plum cleansing balm. So this is the Body Shop Tea Tree Skin Clearing Facial Wash. This is my favorite second cleanse face wash. This is mainly what I use this for, is as my double cleanse. So in the evening, if I am using my Plum cleansing balm first, I will use this as my second cleanse, because I feel like if there's any kind of makeup residue is left behind, this will remove that. Along with it will clean the Plum cleansing balm really well. In fact, this is the only face wash that I feel like works well as a double cleanse. A lot of other face washes I feel like will still leave a little bit of residue behind, like makeup residue, not like oily residue. But this is the only face wash I have ever discovered, and if you know me, you know I've literally tried out a lot of like the affordable face washes that are out there in the market, and this one I know is not affordable, but it still does a very, very good job. And because you're buying such a huge size, this is 250 ml, it will also last a long time. It's not like you're going to go through this every month or 2 months. I take at least 3 to 4 months to use up a 250 ml bottle, which says a lot. So yeah, that's my favorite double cleanse face wash, and that is my second cleanse. But if I'm talking about like my regular everyday face washes, like something I would use in the morning or even in the evening if I'm not wearing any makeup throughout the day, then I have two. The first one that I have to share with you is the Himalaya Fresh Start Oil Clear Face Wash, and this is the blueberry one. And my other favorite is also from Himalaya. It's also got a sort of similar name. It's called the Oil Clear Lemon Face Wash, but I'm not talking about the lemon face wash that is in this line. There is another lemon face wash which has like a light blue, like sea blue color packaging, like the face wash has a sea blue color and then the packaging is clear, I'm pretty sure. Okay, got interrupted by a work call today again, but I believe I was talking about the Oil Clear Lemon Face Wash. So they basically have a lemon face wash, I'm pretty sure, in this lineup as well, and then they have one in the regular line. So I prefer the one in the regular line. I have not tried any of the other face washes in this line apart from the blueberry one. These two are particularly my favorite. They are very, very similar to each other. It's just like I like the blueberry thing in this, and then I also like the experience with that I get with the regular one, the one that I was saying, which has a clear packaging, and then the actual face wash has like a light blue color. So these two are particularly my favorites, but both of them are very similar. I don't think you really need both. You can easily have like one or the other. I just prefer the sleek packaging of this one for like travel purposes. If I'm like going for a couple of days, or if I just want a bigger size but like something that will easily fit in a pouch to travel with. And then I prefer the regular one because that comes in a lot of different sizes, so I can just buy like the massive size, and that will be more economical. It will also last long, less plastic waste. That's just how my brain works. But yeah, the main reason why I like these face washes is A, because they're very affordable. I like the texture. I like the way they lather up and foam up. They don't produce a lot of foam, but I really feel like my face is super clean but not stripped after I wash it off. And did I mention it's super affordable? Yeah, I think that's the first point I mentioned. So yeah, overall in general, I think it's just a basic good face wash that is affordable, does what I wanted to do. So like, why would I go ahead and spend more money on like something that's probably more expensive? That's how my whole mentality works with face wash from now onwards. So yeah, that was that. These were my favorite cleanser kind of products. Now moving on, next to treatment products, I have treatments that are in toner format, and then I have treatment products that are like in serum format. So we'll talk about the toners first, and then we'll move on to the serum category. So for favorite toners, I have two AHA toners, and these are kind of interchangeable for me. If I'm being completely honest, I am not really able to pick one over the other. I have one right now, and then the other one is like a favorite. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in last year's Holy Grail list as well, but that is the Pixi Glow Tonic. I don't have it anymore because I had a 100 ml bottle that I used up completely, and I haven't repurchased yet because I did want to try out more AHA based toners as well. But yeah, this is my favorite because it's a great I want to say it is a gentler toner because the percentage of AHA is lesser. It's got 5% AHA as compared to like some other products I'm going to mention that have a higher concentration of AHAs in it. But I know that this one is a little too harsh for some people, but for me I think it's pretty normal. I wouldn't call it harsh for sure. I don't think it's super gentle either because it's very effective and it gives me the results. So I feel like it's the perfect concentration. I can use it every single day if I want to maintain my skin, as well as if I have like skin texture going on, if I had like broken out recently and I have leftover texture behind from those pimples. This is a great product that helps me to get rid of that texture in just a couple of days. And it also helps me maintain my skin in general. So Pixi Glow Tonic is definitely a favorite. It's definitely a holy grail, and it is one that I do see myself repurchasing at some point. Once I use up and like try out a bunch of different AHAs, I do see myself going back to this one. And then another AHA that I got after I used up the Pixi Glow Tonic is the COSRX AHA 7% Whitehead Power Liquid. Now even though it says like Whitehead Power Liquid, I'm assuming they are trying to say that it helps with whiteheads. I don't really care. I don't really get whiteheads either, but this one is a slightly it's like the matured higher or rather like the older cousin to the Pixi Glow Tonic for me, because this is 7%, so slightly higher concentration. And this is one that I would probably not use as frequently as I would use the COSRX. It's one that I wouldn't use as frequently as I use the Pixi one. Pixi one is 5%, so I can use this every day. This I feel like if I consistently use it every day, I will definitely over exfoliate my skin. So this is one that I use every other day. So it's just a higher concentration. I don't think every single like if you're someone who is a beginner, I don't think you'll be able to tolerate this as well. I would only recommend you use it like once or twice in a week if you are a beginner when it comes to using AHAs on your skin. Specifically this one, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it has glycolic acid, and glycolic acid is more potent and stronger on the skin as compared to some other AHAs like mandelic and lactic and stuff like that. So yeah, do keep that in mind. But this is also one that gives me the exact same results that I get with the Pixi Glow Tonic, so that's why I just had to mention this as well in my holy grails list. And talking about Pixi, we have another product from Pixi that has made it to my holy grails list this year. It's one that I discovered this year as well, and that is the Pixi Clarity Tonic. Now this one has salicylic acid, lactic acid and glycolic acid, so it is a blend of a lot of different AHAs and BHAs, and this is one of my favorite products that helps with when I have active breakouts and I want to tame those breakouts and like keep them at bay and get rid of them in a way. That's when I will use a product like this. And I prefer the toner format that this has, because if I have some other kind of treatment going on, like maybe I'm trying some other hyperpigmentation focused serum that I also want to incorporate in my routine, I'm not able to use like one of my anti-acne serums that I have in my collection. So that's when I will use this first, and then I will use my hyperpigmentation focused product in the same routine. So I'm tackling two concerns at one in the same regime, or like in the same routine. So that's why I really like this product, and it is one that I do see myself keeping in my collection for a long time. Of course I will use this and probably repurchase after I like finish up this bottle, so that's why I say that it's one that's going to stay in my collection. But I do have other products that have been like holy grails and tried and true for years, which do solve a similar purpose. So again, similar to like my AHA toner category, I feel like I have more than one product that kind of does the same thing, so they are interchangeable in a way. I will have at least one of them, if not both, in my skincare collection at all times. So now moving on to some more anti-acne kind of products, but like in the serum format. I have two. I have the Dot & Key Salicylic Plus Zinc Acne Busting Face Serum. This is another tried and true holy grail that you've seen in my video for years. I'm pretty sure this was there in last year's video as well. If it wasn't there in last year's video, then I would be shocked and surprised. How is this not there in my holy grail video? It has to be. I can guarantee that for sure. And this is similar in terms of purpose to the Pixi Clarity Tonic. So these are kind of interchangeable in my routine. If I want to have a smaller, more simple routine, but I have active breakouts, I will cleanse my face, use this, put on moisturizer, and then depending on if it's the morning or nighttime skincare routine, I may or may not put sunscreen on. But if I want a more elaborate routine and I'm kind of trying to tackle multiple concerns at once, then I will wash my face, put on this toner, use my hyperpigmentation focus product, and then moisturizer. And that will probably be like nighttime routine. It won't be like a daytime routine, because I don't like to put on too many products on my face in the morning, since I already have that additional step of sunscreen. So this is another one of my favorites. I've spoken about this for so long that I feel like if you have watched me for any length of time, you definitely know how much I love this. So I'm not gonna like, go on and on about it any longer. And moving on next to another anti-acne focused product, but it's kind of a different purpose that it is geared towards in my routine, if that makes sense. And that is the Earth Rhythm Clear Skin Serum. Now this one is a very potent blend and it has a lot of active ingredients. And the way this is formulated, I mean, Earth Rhythm has done a phenomenal job with this. It has 20% vitamin C, 2.5% bioretinol, which is I think Bakuchiol. Then we have 2% salicylic acid and 1.5% hyaluronic acid. So this one is a very potent blend, and the active ingredients, you might feel like, what is this product actually going to do? Is it going to brighten? Is it going to target like anti-aging? Is it going to work with pimples, or is it supposed to like hydrate? What is this actually supposed to do? So what this is supposed to do, or rather what it does for me, is it resurfaces my skin. And if I have any kind of like under the skin breakouts, or if I feel like I am going to break out, I can just like, when I touch my cheeks or when I touch my skin, I can feel that a breakout is coming. I want to bring that breakout to the surface as soon as possible and like ripen them up in a way, if you want to call it, so that I'm able to treat it quickly and get rid of it even more quickly. So this is what I use to bring those breakouts to the surface. And that's why this is one that I always have to have. It's like something I don't use on a regular basis, but it's like my quick fix product. In a particular situation, when I need this, I will gravitate for this, but you won't ever see this in my like regular skincare routine videos that I do. You don't really see this very often because I don't use it regularly. I only use it when I need to. So yeah, that was that. Moving on to another holy grail. This one is not like, I don't have a bottle with me right now, but the packaging is very very similar to the Earth Rhythm Clear Skin Serum, and that is the alpha arbutin that Earth Rhythm makes. This is another one of my holy grail products that again, like I mentioned, I don't have it because I used it up, and I'm always constantly trying out like newer newer products that help with hyperpigmentation. So that is why I don't have a bottle with me in my collection right now, but it is one of the only serums that I've used that I've truly noticed a difference when it comes to my hyperpigmentation. It actually helps and it actually reduces my hyperpigmentation, and I'm trying to find a product that I feel like can top this up. I don't feel like you would ever see you haven't seen a hyperpigmentation focused product in my holy grails list that often, and if there is a product that can make the holy grail list, this is the only one that I've discovered till date. I know I talk about the Dot & Key vitamin C serum as well, but that's not in the holy grails list anymore. It has been dethroned, and it's not been dethroned, it's just been removed, and I've spoken about why in a different video, so I'm not going to go into detail on that in this video at least. But yeah, I did want to mention that if there is one product that I truly think can help with PIH or PIE even for that matter, it is the Earth Rhythm Alpha Arbutin. I just don't have that right now because I'm always trying to constantly find newer products that help with hyperpigmentation, and I have a bunch in my collection, so I don't want to add a new one because I'm always constantly testing out new ones. So yeah, that's pretty much all the acne focused products that I had when it comes to like serums and toners and stuff. But I do have two more serums that I do want to mention, which are holy grails, and these two serums by Minimalist. Now I know some of you might be like, how did she not mention a Minimalist serum yet? Well, I didn't because I first wanted to talk about my treatment specific products first, and then I will talk about like the maintenance ones that are my favorites. I always want to have this and I always want to constantly be using them. So I have the 10% niacinamide plus zinc, and I also have the 2% salicylic acid. this is more geared towards my morning skincare routine, and this is more for my nighttime skincare routine. So the niacinamide 10% is my favorite serum. Like if I had to use just one serum every single day for the rest of my life in my morning skincare routine, it would be the minimalist 10% niacinamide. I'm honestly always constantly testing out different niacinamides, but sometimes I just feel like, why? I've already found the best ones, so like why am I constantly trying out new ones? So yeah, this is my holy grail, and it is my holy grail favorite because this is what truly helped me, and like with my oiliness specifically, and made me fall in love with niacinamide serums for life. Basically it helps with your oiliness, it helps with the appearance of your pores. I truly feel like my skin has become normal instead of how oily it was earlier because of the serum. So that's why I love it so much. Whereas the 2% salicylic acid serum is not a treatment focused salicylic acid serum. I feel like if you have active breakouts and you use this, you're not going to notice instant results in a few days. It's going to take longer than a few days. But if you have just chronically acne prone skin, like I'm someone, if I don't use my AHAs and BHAs, my acne and my breakouts will come back. So to kind of maintain my skin and to make sure that the breakouts are always at bay and I can have clear skin all the time, I use this along with the Pixi Glow Tonic. That is like my power fighting duo that really keeps my skin clear at all times. It's a favorite combo, and I love both the products individually as well. So yeah, that was that. Moving on, next let's talk about my favorite moisturizers. I have 3. They're all from the same brand. This might totally sound like a sponsored post or like a sponsored video, but I swear it isn't. I mean, if it would be, I would be so happy, because this is one that I will keep talking about whether I ever get paid for it or not. But these 3 moisturizers are my favorite moisturizers ever. These are the moisturizers from the Earth Rhythm. Trust me, I'm not even able to like hold them in my hand, but we have 3. We have the Phyto Fuse, we have the Phyto Clear, the green one, and then we have the Phyto Ceramide. Now all these 3 are different textures, they solve different purposes. I will use them in different routines. So let's go from thinnest to thickest. The Phyto Clear is the thinnest. It is basically your typical gel moisturizer, okay? So like Clinique Moisture Surge, Neutrogena Hydro Boost, Pond's Gel Moisturizer. This is your cruelty free, fragrance free, basic as moisturizer. And I think the Pond's Gel Moisturizer does have niacinamide in it. I don't remember if Clinique Moisture Surge or Neutrogena Hydro Boost have any active ingredients in them, but I also do like the fact that it doesn't have any other active ingredients, because you can literally pair this with any product. Like if the rest of your routine has AHAs or BHAs or niacinamide or anything like that, this is one that you can put on with it no matter what, and you don't have to think about it. And this is one that I would use in my morning skincare routine when my skin is not dry. So like in the winters, I wouldn't use this in my morning skincare routine, but in the monsoons, in the summers, this would be my favorite pick. Moving on next to Phyto Fuse by Earth Rhythm. This is more this has niacinamide first of all, so do keep that in mind. If you're pairing other niacinamide products in your routine, I wouldn't really recommend layering. I know a lot of people say that you can. I just don't want to overdo it ever and just damage my skin in any sort of way. So if I'm using this, I will use it either with AHAs and BHAs, or I will use this with other hyperpigmentation focused products like vitamin C, like tranexamic acid, alpha arbutin, stuff like that. I would definitely pair this moisturizer with. It's got the perfect consistency where it is not super lightweight, but then it's not super hydrating either. So I would say you can use this in the morning or at night. In the summers, I would prefer using it in the night, but I could use it in the morning as well. And in the winters, I would like to use it in the mornings preferably, but I could also use it at night as well. I'm currently using this in my nighttime skincare routine as well. Like when you're filming this, and also probably when you're watching this, I would be using this in my nighttime skincare routine. So yeah, this is another one of my favorites. And moving on to the last one, this is the Phyto Ceramide, and like the name says, this is another moisturizer that does not have any active ingredients in it, but it is one that you can easily pair with any other actives that you have in your routine. your AHAs, your niacinamide, whatever you want to use. I will typically use this in my nighttime skincare routine only. I do think that's a little too much to use in the mornings, even in the winters. So typically this will get paired with my AHA and BHA sort of products. And yeah, this is my perfect replacement to like the Pond's Light Moisturizer. I typically like using that in the nighttime, and I would replace that with this. It's just better because it's fragrance free and also cruelty free as well. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive, and that I'm not very happy about, but if you can get this at like offers and stuff like that, that would be an absolutely amazing deal. So yeah, this is my third moisturizer pick, and I'm pretty sure those are the only moisturizers that I have in my holy grails list. Yeah, that is it. And moving on to the last category, which is sunscreen. I have 5 actually to mention, but 2 of them I don't have in this video, and I do want to like, there are 3 which are truly in the holy grails list which I have to show with you, and then I have 2 honorable mentions which almost make it to the holy grails list. I want to put them, but I have certain caveats as well, so that's why I'm not putting them officially on the list, but they're like unofficially on the list. So let me talk about the first 3 that I have to share with you right here, and I have them to actually show you as well. The first one is not going to come as a surprise to anyone. This is the Tricone L-Glutathione Sunscreen Gel SPF 60 PA+++. This is the sunscreen I've repurchased the most, I've used the most. It's my favorite formulation, which I love to pair with anything but like a gel moisturizer. So this is something that I wouldn't use if I'm using the Phyto Clear, because I do feel like this spills up. Along with those, this is one that I would use with my Phyto Fuse or with any other like cream based moisturizers that I have in my collection. I think this pairs really well. It does give a nice smooth out look to the skin. It's one that I love the texture of. It works for me in all season, all times of the year, 365 days of the year. If I had to use one sunscreen, this would be the one. That's why it's my favorite, and it's also relatively affordable, and you get more product in here as compared to some of the other sunscreens that I have to share with you. I regret to let you know that those don't come with as much product, and those are also a little bit more expensive. So when I feel like, okay, I'm spending way too much money on skincare and I have to go with a sunscreen that's affordable but I still love using and I still really like, this is the one that I will continue to repurchase. And I feel like that's also why this is one of my most repurchased sunscreen, because I don't have to think before repurchasing it, you know. Some of the other ones, because they're more expensive, I feel like I have to think before I'm repurchasing them. So the next 2 favorites that I have, which are also holy grails, they are recent additions. They are ones that I discovered, I would say, towards like mid to end of 2021. So they're definitely newer, but I can already tell you that they're ones to stay. They will definitely get repurchased as well by me, and those are these 2 sunscreens right here from Requeel. So I have the Ultra Matte Dry Touch Sunscreen Gel, and I have the Sheer Zinc Tinted Sunscreen as well. The third one that they have, I feel like, is not ideal for me. It's more ideal for people with normal to dry skin, so I didn't even want to get that. But this one is cream yet sets into like a powder matte finish kind of a sunscreen, and this is something that really pairs well with my you know, gel moisturizer kind of products. This is actually the combo that I have under my makeup today as well. This is the moisturizer I use today, this is the sunscreen that I use today, and it does work pretty well together. So when I'm using a gel moisturizer, I would typically like to pair this sunscreen with it, because I know I can't pair my Tricone sunscreen. So that's why I feel like this really stands out to me, and yeah, this is one that, even though I don't like how expensive it is and you get less amount of product, like this is just 50 grams, I don't like that fact, but I do love the sunscreen. So yeah, that's why this is in my holy grails list. And the Sheer Zinc Tinted Sunscreen is one that I haven't used much, but I do know that I like when I wear this, because it's kind of your skincare slash makeup like hybrid. Because of the tint, I feel like it does even out your skin tone if you have a little bit of hyperpigmentation, and if you don't like to wear makeup, where like if you're a concealer foundation kind of person, I don't think you will care. But because I'm a no makeup kind of person, I like a sunscreen that has some, you know, not, I don't want to say coverage, but it's got a little bit of tint, and it does even out the skin tone. And I like the way the formula is, the way it blends, and the way the overall look that you get on the skin after you apply this, I am a big fan of. So even though this is not like my everyday go-to sunscreen, this is one that I would always like to have in my collection. And on certain days when I want to reach out for something like this, I know I will reach out for this. So yeah, that's my favorite sunscreen. I am planning on trying out more tinted sunscreens in 2022, so maybe by the end of 2022 you might not see this in my holy grail list, but for now I am adding it to the list, and it is here to stay at least for a while. So yeah, those are all the products that I had to share with you. And then the two honorable mentions when it comes to sunscreen holy grails. The first one would be the Dermaco sunscreen. Now this one I'm not officially mentioning on the list, is because I did hear recently that it's been reformulated, and I'm not sure because I haven't purchased it after it was reformulated. I bought it before it was reformulated, and I fell in love with it. If it was the same formula, it would definitely be mentioned in this video. So I do want to repurchase that sunscreen, and then I will figure out if I want to put it in my skincare holy grails and also in my sunscreen holy grails list or not. So yeah, I am looking forward to repurchasing that, but I do have a lot of sunscreens right now in my collection that I do want to go through before I buy that. So yeah, I will definitely, like, I know I've mentioned this in quite a few videos, but I am looking at repurchasing the reformulated version, or rather purchasing the reformulated version, and giving you guys an update on what are my updated thoughts on the Dermaco sunscreen. So yeah, by the way, I know Dermaco has a couple of sunscreens, so in case you're wondering which one I'm talking about, it is the 1% I think it's got hyaluronic acid. It's got like this thin cylinder kind of packaging, really cool. It's also fragrance free, I believe. I'm not talking about any of the Dermaco sunscreens that come in like a typical tube packaging, because those I don't really know much about. I haven't tried them out either, so I cannot comment on any of them. But yeah, I'm talking about the cylinder one that is fragrance free, just as like a keyword mention. And then the last sunscreen that I also want to mention, it's kind of similar to the Recoil Ultra Matte Dry Touch Sunscreen Gel, and that is the UV Dock sunscreen. Now that one I want to mention because I feel like it's hit and miss sometimes, but that one actually comes in like a bigger size. Obviously the bigger size will be more expensive as well, but I just like the fact that that is more economical, and like I won't go through tubes and tubes of it as quickly as I would with something like this. So that's why it's kind of an honorable mention. I feel like after I go through some of the sunscreens I have, I might repurchase the UV Docs again, and you know, continue using it with different skincare products that I have, and then figure out if it's one that is going to become like one of my most repurchased products, or become like one of my everyday sunscreens even for that matter. So yeah, that's why I wanted to give the UV Doc sunscreen like a quick honorable mention, kind of like a shout out, and it's going to be one of my additions to this list. But yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the only products that I have to mention in this video. Did I cover everything? I'm just going through my list quickly in case you're wondering. Did I mention everything? Yeah, I did mention everything. So yeah, that is it for the video. It's definitely longer than I'd hoped it would be, but I'm happy and thankful that this video is not like an hour long. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna list and link everything down below, and hopefully next year we will look back on this video and I can give you like an updated holy grails list and tell you which of these products are gonna be my holy grail next year as well, and which ones will probably get dethroned. I don't know honestly, but yeah, I'm excited. And I have more videos to come. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, but I am actually doing like a top 10 skincare products for life kind of a video. So like if I had to keep only 10 products out of all of these, which is going to be very hard by the way, but yeah, if I just had to keep 10 products from this video, which ones would they be? I'm doing that kind of a video, and I will definitely obviously post that after this one. But yeah, let me know down below which ones do you think will make the top 10 video. I mean, it was a very hard, first of all, but I don't know how well you guys know me or don't know me, so I'm really curious to see which of you will be able to tell which ones are like which products are going to make that video and which ones aren't. So yeah, if you want to leave your guesses down below as to which products will make the top 10 video list, leave those down below. And yeah, I would love to see which of you can guess it, which of you are not able to guess it. That will be a fun game. So yeah, and that way I'll also be able to know which of you sticked through like a 35-minute long video. So yeah, if you stick till the end, definitely leave that down below. And yeah, it'll be fun to see. I'll definitely comment back and let you guys know if you're right or wrong. So yeah, leave that comment down below. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Until next time, bye bye.